Hey learners, welcome back. In the video series of chapter Financial Statement of Companies, the topic that we are going to discuss today is about the general instructions for preparation of the balance sheet under the Companies Act 2013. So under this act, few instructions have been mentioned that should be carefully applied while we are preparing with the balance sheet. Out of those instructions, the first one has been covered in the last video. In case you have missed that video, do check it before. I shall put the link in the description box. And for now, let us continue with the remaining points. General instruction number 2 tells us about how can a liability be classified as current liability. Okay, we all know that we have current assets as well as we have current liabilities. Right? Now there is a criteria that has to be followed in order to classify an liability as a current liability. Clear? Let's read. It is expected to be settled in the company's normal operating cycle. Okay, means settle means I will pay that liability and I will clear it off within my normal operating cycle. If I have the intention that I will clear that liability within my operating cycle, then such a liability can be called as the current liability. Point number 1 done. What is point number 2? Point number 2, it is primarily held for the purpose of being traded. Means I have the intention in my mind that I will not keep this liability long in my business. I will quickly try to trade it off. Means settle it off, clear it off. Okay? Next what we have, it is point number C. Point number C says it is due to be settled. Means my deadline will come that I have to settle it, I have to pay that liability. When? Within 12 months after the reporting date. So again over here that 1 year concept comes. After the reporting date, within 12 months or within 1 year, I have to clear that liability. Any of these 3 points are followed, I can classify my liability as current liability. And in case none of these 3 points are matching, then what can I call that liability? That liability will be called as non-current liability. Clear? That means it is not settled in the company's operating cycle. It is not held for the purpose of being traded, and it is not settled or due to be settled within 12 months after the reporting date. Clear? Then we can call liabilities as non-current liability. Clear? Okay. I hope you would have found learning this concept a little easier than learning about current assets, because current assets, all the 3 points were new to you, but now I hope you can relate the points of current liability with current assets. Okay, same concept is applied here. So these were the criteria, these were the guidelines that are issued by the Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 while classifying any liability as current liability. Clear? Moving on to instruction number 3. It says no debit balance of profit and loss along with assets. That means, understand. Go back to the horizontal balance sheet that we used to prepare. That means the T format wala balance sheet. What we used to do there, in case we used to have a loss, in case we used to have a PL loss, let me be more appropriate. What we used to do, we used to write the profit and loss balance, instead of writing it on the liability side, we used to write it on the asset side. Okay, generally profit has a credit balance. So in balance sheet, we had to record it under the liability side, right? But in case we had a loss, then what we used to do, we used to record it under the asset side, isn't it? But what is this Schedule 3 saying? Schedule 3 says no debit balance of profit and loss along with assets. That means even if I am having a debit balance of profit and loss, what is debit balance of profit and loss? Means I am having a loss. Even if I am having a loss, I will not record it on the asset side. I have to put it under the equity and liability side only, but with a negative balance. That means I will put brackets. Remember, in order to show negative balance, we put brackets na? Similarly, we are going to record that particular loss with the brackets on the equity and liability side. And under what? Under there is a head called as reserves and surplus. Under that head only we are going to record this. Clear? Moving on to instruction number 4. Instruction number 4 says, whatever be the amounts of the miscellaneous expenditures, like my discount or loss on issue of debentures, or my underwriting commission, or my preliminary expenses, whatever be such expenditures, what I have to write? I have to subtract it. Written off means what? I have to subtract it from the different reserves which are available to me. Okay? I have to subtract my expenditure from my reserves. Now what kind of reserves I am going to use? I can use my securities premium reserve. I can use my general reserve. I can use my surplus. Okay, but I have to subtract that amount. Earlier we do not used to subtract, we used to show them separately, but now as per the instruction of schedule 3, it says that if there is any kind of miscellaneous expenditures, then we are supposed to subtract, or we are supposed to write those miscellaneous expenditures from my different reserves. Few examples are given to us, like securities premium reserve, general reserve, or even from my surplus balance. What is my surplus? Surplus is my profit balance. Okay, balance of my statement of profit and loss in which the year they occur. Clear? So in whichever year they are occurring, I have to subtract those miscellaneous expenditures from those reserves balance only. I cannot put it away, I cannot put it separately. I have to write them off. Simple point. Moving on to point number 5. Point number 5 says, any additional information is to be furnished in terms of notes to accounts. That means in case I have to give any additional information, I have to put it as notes to accounts. Clear? Okay. What is point number 6? Point number 6 says, schedule 3 requires that on the face of the balance sheet only one amount shall be shown against each item, and details of that item shall be given in a note relating to that item. For example, share capital will be shown as one amount on the face of the balance sheet with number 1 in the note number column. The details of the share capital will be given in notes to accounts under number 1. Now this we have already discussed before, that in case there has to be any details given in the balance sheet, those details will be given in the name of notes to accounts. And the last information, that is information number 7, says, as per schedule 3, if a balance sheet is to be prepared, for example on 31st March 2020, then the date will be stated as, very important, as at 31st March and not as on. Okay, in schedule 3 we use the word at. Okay, because at refers to a particular point of time. We do not use the word on, because on refers to the entire duration. While discussing about the introduction of the balance sheet, we have already learned that balance sheet is prepared on a particular date, not for a particular period. So, whenever we are writing on the top of the balance sheet, we have to use the word as at, not as on. Okay, as per schedule 3. Clear? So these were the 7 important instructions that we have to follow while preparing the balance sheet.